category has come to pit road. We knew that they would have to be coming in here, and those stops take a little bit longer. It'll be interesting to see. Gunnar Jeanette was about a lap and a half back. Can he get back in the lead here on the stop for the 52?
Saw they had left side tires out only. A 2-tire change would be quicker with the one gun, and also all the right-hand turns here at Lime Rock, that works very well.
Oh, Joey Hand looked inside. This is, hopefully it won't get ugly. These are two very good friends. They share rental cars on the weekend. They basically work hand in hand, even though, no pun intended there, even though they're in different cars this year. Very good friends and great race car drivers.
Kind of an ugly ride back to the airport if they got together. We saw Jörg Bergmeister climb out of the 45. That was a little bit unexpected, Jamie.
It really was, but you were hot, you were tired when you got out of the car. Was that always the strategy to switch back?
Well, yeah, it's a pretty hot day in the office today, so we had to plan to do a second driver change from the beginning because of the temperatures. Taking no risk, you get pretty worn out at those temperatures, and so we didn't want to make a mistake, and we didn't have to take as much fuel as the BMWs. That's why we beat them in the pit. So it paid off to stay patient behind them. Car was really quick when I was by myself. When I was behind them, I always picked up a little understeer, but in general, the car handled really well.
You're going for your 5th consecutive win here at Lime Rock Park. Is the car good enough to get it today?
Well, it's still a long way to go, but definitely would be nice. Would be good for the championship. That's what I'm really looking for, and 5 wins in a row would be nice, but the championship is more important.
Well, great stint, great teamwork. Go cool off.
Thank you.
Well, one of the things is, yes, it's a very warm day, but also these drivers, even though young and very fit, they're in the middle of their season. I spoke to Jürgen Miller. He said, I am now on an 8-week consecutive streak, racing over Europe in various categories, run a 24-hour race over there during that 2-month span. So he is really on a roll right now, racing every week.
On board with Johannes van Overbeek, that extreme speed Ferrari as he flashed down the back straightaway right now, running a little bit further back, 6th in GT, as you look at Patrick Long. And there is the leader in GT, and we've said this before, it was just a couple of years ago, though. It was Mika Salo in a bright red Risi Ferrari, and he's back up front yet again.
And this is a different configuration race car to the one that Mika did so much good work with the Risi team. Remember, they got into this wider tire package this year, Dorsey. And what it's meant is, even though Mika drove the car at Le Mans very briefly, his teammate crashed the car, so they didn't make the race. He said, I'm having to learn this car. And also, rain out yesterday, so the first dry laps driving this car were really today. So he's done a tremendous job to hold down the lead, even though he will need to pit yet.
Yeah, Calvin, he's going to relinquish that lead when he comes to pit lane. But talking to the team, they were thinking about pulling Mika out of the car because when he initially got behind the wheel, Rick Mayer, the team engineer, was saying he was just too hyped up. He was over-driving the car. He wasn't happy with the setup. Now he's settled back into that Ferrari. He seems to be doing well, so they're going to leave Mika behind the wheel and not put Pierre Caffer back in.
I'd have loved to have heard the radio communication on that one. That Mika wasn't happy with the setup.
It would have been like listening to Beretta earlier when he got the penalty.
A few bleeps would be needed.
Yeah, to say the least. And there's a look at the 75, the Jaguar entry. Rocket Sports Racing, RSR Racing. Ryan Dial behind the wheel right now. Good to see Dial having a good run. Good to see that car from the drop of the green until now running out on the racetrack, because the problems that they've had, the struggles that they've had have been well chronicled, but they are adapting and they are overcoming. Each weekend they're getting a little bit better.
Yeah, Brian, they're getting a lot better this weekend because all the electronic issues that car had came from a cam sensor that they just couldn't figure out. But now that they figured it out, the engine is running well. Now it just comes down to working the setup and also working with Yokohama on that tire package. They're going to be doing a tire test after this event, trying to make that car quicker. But they did have a penalty early in this race. They lost a right-hand mirror on that American Le Mans Series. As soon as you lose some bodywork, you got to come in, especially a mirror like that.
Yeah, and speaking to Ryan this morning after the warm-up, he said the car's cornering is pretty good. He said the engine is very strong. Now we've got those electronics sorted out, but he said traction and underbraking is where we're losing out right now.
See the 44 Flying Lizard Porsche right there behind the 8, and then the 4 Corvette. All of those cars out there running. You know, we talked about the problems for the 4 Corvette earlier, the penalty they had. The 8 back underway. That's good to see. They changed the steering wheel to try to help with that shifting problem, but right now it's Darren Law in the 44, the other Flying Lizard entry that he shares with Seth Nyman.
Well, the good news for the Team Corvette boys is the number 4, after all of its troubles that you were talking about right then, Brian, has gotten itself back on the lead lap. Some good pit work and good strategy from the Corvette guys. Now, there should be a caution. That car is an eligible car to contend here.
The sister car, the Flying Lizard car, really doing a tremendous job. Pat Long currently running second, just set the fastest GT lap of the race as he chases down Mika Salo. And certainly the team will have informed Pat Long that that 61 machine, the Ferrari, needs to hit pit lane once again. There we see Pat.
And the 44 running 7th in GT, that would be their best finish of the season with that driver pairing. They had a great top 5 at Sebring, but in all the sprint races, the best they could muster was an 11th, twice at Laguna and at Salt Lake City. So a good run here at 7th in one of the sprint races for the 44. The 45, certainly they are running well up front.
Flying Lizard guys have got a really good setup package on these two cars. You see them able to use the curbs and not get loose, and you see the car is very compliant as it goes up and down these elevation changes.
And again, Dorsey, this is a short weekend anyway, just 2 days. Yesterday was completely rained out, so the Ferrari has a different tire and wheel package. Corvette haven't been here before in GT2. So all these front-running teams don't have a known setup for the car they're running this year. The Porsche does.
Yeah, no doubt.
75 on pit road. Sorry, Dors.
That was a washout yesterday. That was a ton of rain all day. This looks routine. I talked with Paul Gentilozzi, and team principal, and he was telling me about the camshaft position sensor and the fact that they could not find that electronic issue. Once they did find it, not only did it get rid of all the problems they were having, but it gave them another 30 horsepower. That's a nice bonus.
I'll give Paul Gentilozzi a lot of kudos. This has been a tough season for him. There you see him. He's right in the thick of it. And after the race at Miller, where they had another disappointing run, he was right there with the mechanics, pushing the car back into the garage. He is in it. He is in there in the trenches with his troops. They'll come good. He's got a lot of pride, that man.
Well, and this team certainly knows how to get the job done. I mean, they ran here earlier this month in Trans Am. Tommy Dreese finished second, so they know how to field good cars. But right now, they're just having to learn the nuances of this Jaguar, and I understand that they're going to have a new block coming at some point in time. So all of that is going to help them, and the more they run, the more they're going to get a handle on this chassis and the aerodynamic package.
Actually, they're casting a new block for that engine, and that's going to help that out. But also, I've heard the rumor of a new car as well, a complete second Jaguar entry with a lot of upgrades that this car doesn't have.
One thing that Paul spoke about, when they read the rule book, they really felt the greenhouse, as we call it, basically the shape of that car had to be almost identical to the road car. And a lot of the other manufacturers have kind of tweaked things. They've cut things down and lost about 2 to 3 inches in that roof. Just the drag factor alone by that big greenhouse is about 30 to 40 horsepower you need to pull that car through the air. They're learning a lesson this year.
Well, just as RSR is learning, you can learn as well. Race Hub on AmericanLeMans.com has all the content that you need to follow the American Le Mans series, including live timing and scoring, and featuring an electronic lap chart, the American Le Mans Series radio, and many other features. So log on now at AmericanLeMans.com. These boys certainly warm out there watching the race. Gunnar Jeanette's taking back over the point in LMP Challenge. But for right now, it's Klaus Graf that runs out front overall.
The Indy Grand Prix of Sonoma comes to Infineon Raceway, August 20th through 22nd. Danica Patrick, Helio Castroneves, and all the stars from the IZOD IndyCar Series. The Indy Grand Prix of Sonoma, part of the Big O Tires racing season. Tickets at InfineonRaceway.com. Think outside the oval.
Jaguar Platinum coverage is not just a warranty. It's a belief in everything we do. It's a 5-year, 50,000-mile promise with complimentary scheduled maintenance, no-cost replacement of wear and tear items, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Because when you create the most beautiful, fast cars on Earth, you create an ownership experience to match. Jaguar's best-in-class Platinum coverage is included on all 2011 Jaguars. See your local Jaguar dealer for details.
Here's the deal. Your Bridgestone tires. Or your life. What? Stop! I said life, not wife.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
Bingo! Got a new price on a flight to Maui. Junior, run the numbers.
On it, Dad.
Nobody move. I'm calling a family meeting.
There's no time. We're searching hundreds of sites for the cheapest flight.
What you're doing is setting a bad example for the kids. On Priceline, you can shop all these flights and get the best price guaranteed. And if you add a hotel and a car, you save even more.
Shut it down, people.
A family that saves together stays together.
Grew up in a small town, and when the rain would fall down, I'd just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be, and if I'd end up happy, I would pray I could break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky, and I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, I won't forget all the ones that I love. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away.
David Brabham in the number 1, the Patron Highcroft entry. Nothing but clear sailing ahead of him. The problem is it's about 21 seconds up the road to Klaus Graf. He's got his work cut out for him. A lot of traffic out there as well. Look at the 45 in front of the 61. Patrick Long is taken back over the lead in GT after the 61 made their pit stop. Chris?
Brian, you talked about clear sailing in front of David Brabham. That's what he needs, because when I did the interview with Simon Pagenaud after the driver change, they were only 9 seconds back, now 21 seconds back. He is just not getting any breaks in traffic. It dropped back to 15 seconds, and now it's dropped back to 21 seconds. The team just saying, David, you got to push hard. You got to work your way through this traffic, because he continues to lose precious seconds.
He's not the only one who's lost here lately. We talked about Patrick Long being in the lead. 61, very long pit stop, Calvin. They've lost a lap.
It was. It's a complete lap, which is a bit of a disaster, because if the pit stop had been marginally faster, it was a time fill, I believe, on that car. There's no reason for them to go down a lap. They came in with the lead by a healthy margin. They go out 1 lap down. Now, if they'd stayed on the lead lap, got a yellow, they could have maybe done a lot more good work here today.
In front of the 62 Ferrari right now, while they're in close proximity, or they need to get that lap back somehow. That's the 61.
Concern for the Lizard boys is, Dorsey, if this 61 car gets on the back of that, think about the big picture, the championship, is Caffer going to rough him up a little
Well,
bit?
that's it. I mean, 61 car's got to get that lead lap back at any cost and hope for a caution.
Oh, that's where it gets tight. That's the leader.
That is the leader in the LMP category, the leader overall here. Remember, 4 different classes racing at one time. There's a battle just about everywhere. The 63, the blue Porsche there, one of the GT Challenge cars of Andy Lally. He runs 2nd in that class. So this traffic here we've talked about, it's going to play a part all day long, all the way to the checkered flag. Chris?
Well, while we were in break, the 61 came to pit lane, and I told you that Mika Salo was going to finish the race. But Mika, you got out of the Ferrari. Why did you get out when the team was telling me you were going to stay in?
Well, I was thinking about it for the last 20 minutes, and then I thought, okay, if beer is fresh and it goes close in the end, so we need somebody who has the power to really put the push. I haven't raced since last year, basically, so I'm a bit rusty, so I need a bit more laps to. It's whatever training you do, it's not enough because this is not jogging or lifting weights in a gym, so it's still different. It's a concentration, and it's hot, so it's better to have a fresh guy in.
Bit of a gap right now between the Ferrari and the GT leaders, but if we get a caution, do you guys have a car that can take it to the fight?
Yeah, well, I think most of them have to stop one more time, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm just driving. I'm new at P2, and we had a 30-second lead or something to the 3rd place, and that's all I know. I don't really know what's going on everywhere else.
And guys, just to update you on that stop they made, it was a very clean stop, fuel and tires. However, the driver change was a bit slow. Pierre Caffer could not get his belts on, so it had at about 10 seconds just because of that driver change.
That's the difference right there. They wouldn't have lost the lap, and here we go. BMW's back at it. Nothing much has changed here. Joey Hand right there all over the back of Bill Auberlen.
Yeah, we just talked with Bobby Rahal, and he said, I told the guys they can fight as hard as they want. We don't have team orders. The only rule is you can't hit each other. Go at it, but do not come back with any contact after this race.
It's hard to do here,
I've heard that before, man. I've heard that all that song and dance more than once.
I think if you hit each other, you might as well just find a ride out of the park. You're not going to want to go back and see Bobby and Scott Rimke.
It wouldn't be a pretty sight, but I mean, it's happened so many times.
But these two guys, you were saying, Calvin, they know each other so well. They have raced with each other so much. Look at this. Joey Hand trying to go around the outside. That's not going to work. It's about as close to hitting each other as you can get.
Fine, man. Just use all that skill. Get up on the wheel. Make me proud.
A little encouragement there.
That was Scott Rimke, maybe.
Yeah, what it sounded like.
This racetrack is a tough racetrack. These guys know it very well. You know, I can see by the way they're maneuvering the cars around that they're not going to hit each other, but they're going to really push each other to the limit.
See Scott Tucker there in the 95 GTC car, or the LMP Challenge car. You see the leader, the 54, the green and white Porsche, Jerome Bleekemolen, leading in GT Challenge right now as they slice through. And this is the problem with Lime Rock Park when we talk about traffic. We talked about the speed differential between the cars. There's not a lot of it, but there's Joey Hand. Wow.
That had disaster written all over it. Joey got an excellent exit off that west chicane. Thought about going down to the inside. That was tight.
I talked to Joey earlier this morning, and he said, you know, I feel pressure every time we come to Lime Rock Park. It's a BMW track. I'm a BMW driver. Even going back to the beginning days when he first started racing in Formula BMW, his first race here at Lime Rock Park, but he's had more podium finishes here at this particular racetrack than anywhere else on the schedule. And he said, I'm going at it today. I'm going to finish on the podium.
And you saw David Brabham flash through that, and that is the other thing about Lime Rock Park. Somebody else's problem can quickly become yours. Brabham right there in the middle of that fight as he flashed through. If there had been a problem, certainly could have taken him out of contention. Right now, still trying to give chase to Klaus Graf in that muscle milk Porsche. Joey Hand still giving chase to Bill
Joey
Auberlen.
got a good run down the downhill, and that's where we saw him stick the nose in before. You don't want to go side by side through the apex, even if you can, because for two cars to make that, you'd be real slow through there.
Sport LMP car flashes by. 37, good to see them back out and running after the problems that they had early on, but they are well back. Clint Field behind the wheel right now, just 97 laps in the book to the 126 laps that Klaus Graf has put in today. Through the left-hander, the right-hander, onto no-name straight.
These guys about 11 seconds behind our GT leader right now, Pat Long, who still continues to lead in the 45 Flying Lizard Porsche. And these guys just know each other so well. They'll know their traits. They look at telemetry. They know where one driver is strong versus another. Joey prides himself on being the last of the late breakers. He can take it in really, really deep, but he recognized that Billy Auberlen will close the door.
Patrick Long putting in some really good lap times, just over a second faster than Auberlen and Hand the last time around. Now, he got held up that time in traffic.
There you see the gap. Pat Long just goes into turn one, and we see the BMWs appearing on the front straightaway. So with the traffic, you have to keep pushing. Pat Long could lose 4 or 5 seconds in a heartbeat. He has to keep being aggressive.
And he just did. He was down into the 57-second range, and the last lap was over a minute 1, in fact. So the traffic works for you, and sometimes it works against you as Patrick Long works through traffic here, round 5 of the American Le Mans Series 2010. Good stuff right now. We saw Patrick Long a little bit earlier talking about that hybrid, the Porsche that we'll see at Petit Le Mans. He had a chance to drive it, and that was good stuff indeed. And that is part of the green racing that the American Le Mans Series is known for, and that we'll see more of in the future. Fans had a chance to stop by and look at cars, a Corvette, that beautiful hybrid Porsche. Kids, hey, that may be the future of the American Le Mans Series right there. Great stuff from New York, and great stuff from Lime Rock Park, round 5 of the American Le Mans Series. We'll be right back.
Thursday, prime time on Speed is packed with 3 great original series. All new episode of Pigs All Out.
Somebody here is going to win $10,000.
From the Megatrack C-Max Trackway.
The twist off on wheels.
Dangerous Drives.
No, this isn't Disneyland up here.
And on an all-new episode of Battle of the Supercars. It's a muscle car slugfest. 3 great original series. 1 action-packed night. Thursday night beginning at 8 Eastern on Speed.
Start your engine. like a blast of hydration. The new Schick Hydro. Water-activated gel hydrates your skin as you shave, and Skin Guards reduce irritation. It's the best shave for your skin. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
I'm hungry. What's for dinner?
Hey, little dude, dinner's my middle name. How about some hamburger helper? Oh my, but your mouth is gonna love it. And your wallet's gonna be pretty happy, too.
Now this is the deal of the day.
Hamburger helper. 1 pound, 1 pan, 1 tasty meal.
There's an old saying in racing. Start with the best street cars, and you end up with the best race cars. No wonder on any given weekend, more Mazdas are road raced than any other car. Mazda. Race-driven engineering, the Zoom Zoom way.
I'm Montel Williams. Would an extra $1,000 come in handy right now? Then I'd like to talk to you about Money Mutual. It's your trusted source to over 60 lenders to get you up to $1,000 fast. That big medical bill? Paid. The car? Fixed. Breathing room till payday? Done. Just be 18 or older and have a regular income of at least $800 a month. No credit score required. Need cash tomorrow? Go to moneymutual.com today.
Hairstyles come and go. But to get the most out of every style, you need hair that's full and thick. Head & Shoulders Hair Endurance for Men is designed to help restore your scalp's health for hair that's fuller and thicker looking, guaranteed.
Sunday, NASCAR Race Day invades Indy as David Ruderman, Clint Boyer, and Jimmy Johnson join us live. Plus, Kenny Wallace shows you a side of the Brickyard you've never seen before. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, live from Indianapolis, Sunday at 10 Eastern.
Only on Speed.
As we left you, we showed you the hybrid in New York and the Michelin Green X Challenge, all a part of the green racing here in the American Le Mans Series. This is how the prototypes stack up right now in today's Michelin Green X Challenge. Number 6 Muscle Milk Cytosport Porsche out in front right now over the number 1 Patron Highcroft Racing entry, the HPD power plant, and that's exactly the way they run on the racetrack right now. That's the look in GT. Well, 2 of the big leaders in green racing are in our paddock week in and week out. That's Corvette Racing and Michelin. More on that. Let's hear more from Doug Feehan.
You know, I tip my hat to Michelin. Michelin is an extremely green company based in Europe. And not only are they green in the way they operate their plant, but now they're green in the what products they produce. You know, the materials that we're getting in our race tires now are much greener than they were 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, that says a lot about Michelin as a company. When we look at General Motors, as much as anything, we use it as a learning experience for our customers. How can we teach our customers that the way cars are propelled is going to be changing? We've known 100 years, we've known one thing, and that's gasoline. Now we have the opportunity to demonstrate that utilizing alternative fuels can deliver fun, can deliver excitement, can deliver reliability, and can deliver performance. If we can put cellulosic base E85 in our Corvette and win races with it, Mom can put it in the SUV to take the kids to school, Dad can put it in the pickup truck to go to work. You know, ethanol isn't the answer, but it's part of a solution. And part of that is educating the American public that there's going to be different ways that cars are going to be moved forward as the industry evolves.
That E85, certainly all the teams, or a lot of the teams in GT have decided it is a really good thing. We talked about it earlier. Yeah, you've got to change some plumbing, some configurations of the power plant a little bit on the fuel rails and the fuel cell. It seems to certainly have an advantage that a lot of these GT competitors like.
You talk about that advantage, and you mentioned all of the changes that have to be done. Well, remember back a couple of years ago when Corvette Racing originally switched over to that E85, they had problems with the fuel cells and in the fuel lines. Well, Gary Pratt and Danny Binks told me the last couple of months nearly every team in the GT field has called them and asked for some advice on exactly how to make their cars run that E85 fuel. They said, we were happy to help. It's better for the environment, it's better for us, and it's better for the competition. So there's a little bit of GT camaraderie when it comes to using that E85.
But as Doug Feehan says, ethanol is not the answer. It's not the ultimate answer to the problem. It is a step along the way. Certainly it will progress. We'll see huge strides made in alternative fuel, and it's just one of the early attempts.
Yeah, we talk about E85. Sorry about that, Calvin. We talk about E85. You see the 99 flash by right there. Gunnar Jeanette has retaken the lead. G-Oil on that car, another very green racing product, literally is one that is so good for the environment. It's impressive stuff. You literally, they tell you, can take it and dump it in the ditch, and it will biodegrade and be gone. And yet, there are a lot of the teams out there that want to utilize that product. It's that good.
That's another interesting one too, Brian, because originally when the G-Oil car took to the grid at Sebring, they were the only ones that were actually using the G-Oil in their LMPC car. But they decided, you know, we have an advantage with this biodegradable oil. We don't want to have that advantage in a spec class like this. So if any of our competitors want to use the G-Oil, we're just going to give it to them. So there are a couple of teams that have taken them up on that right now, but certainly a great product that's used in those cars.
And think of the advantages with all the ditches I've been in my years.
Yeah, look at this though, Dorsey. This is sensational. Andy Lally's got a good run in traffic. He is all over the back of Blake Amon, gets a great run and takes the lead easily in GTC.
It looked like Jerome had a problem there at the downhill.
Well,
it did.
Either that or Jerome knew that he was snookered and lifted. This is one of the things you do at Lima. Lifted to make the pass.
Oh,
the 17 is back into the wall.
It's Brian Sellers behind the wheel. Is that at the exit?
That's like pitted. No,
that's into.
I don't know what happened. I went to the brake, and it didn't slow down at first.
Brian talking about a brake problem. Car doesn't look too bad, though, boys.
Well, you might have got to slow down most of the speed out of the car by the time he got to the tires.
No fuel. Be ready. Have a look at the back.
These tire walls here do a great job. We'll see the end of what happened here. It's got a little muffler damage. Exhaust damage there, but I don't think this car's really hurt.
From here it doesn't really look so bad, but we'll see when we get in. Might have got a little exhaust for the diffuser.
Take a look here, just seeing as he's backing in to the wall. You heard him report early brake. The brake didn't slow the car down, then it did.
Interesting. Saw the cosmetic damage to the back. Remember the huge
I don't know
problem
what
they had.
happened.
Well, you know, sometimes you get piston knocked back on the calipers where you'll hit a bump or use a curve.
This is the
problem from Salt Lake City, a whole different.
Today's issue is small compared to this one. Sellers out of the car, the flames right there at his back. Does a good job. He did pull the fire extinguisher, but he wasn't sure. He had everything shut off and then he had pulled it. So he went back in. That's a pretty brave move. The fire crew finally gets there and gets the fire put out, but they had to completely rebuild the back of that car overnight and get it back on track.
They did a tremendous job that weekend to get the car back out for the race, and looks like there's not too much damage. There's a little bit of rear quarter panel damage, so Brian takes it back out with some fresh tires and see what he can do now.
But one thing we didn't talk about is this. We talked about yesterday the rain all day long. Well, today's been a beautiful day. We knew there was rain in the area. Here we are.
Where?
In the area.
Where are we?
We're somewhere in here.
Nice job, Dustin.
About 28 minutes left to go, and they say the weather's on its way, Chris.
Yeah, Brian, they're saying maybe rain in the next 5 minutes. I felt a couple drops a couple minutes ago. I've been looking at weather radar that the teams have, and a cell just kind of fired up directly to our west. It's a pretty small cell, so if it does come through and drop a bunch of rain on us, it should be dry on the back side of us. But they're saying anywhere the next 5 to 10 minutes, we might get pretty wet.
One thing that we saw in qualifying yesterday, the Muscle Milk team decided not to change from their dry setup when it rained. So Klaus Graf, if he does have to throw some wets on there, will essentially have the same car that he had in qualifying, whereas Brabham and the Highcroft team went for a full wet setup, so they'll be dealing with something a little bit differently.
Talk about dealing with something differently. Look at the wing post on the back of the 6 car. There's something
wrapped around
it. And while
it's
carbon
fiber.
fiber.
Yeah, it's a big piece of carbon off of somebody's car that got trapped around the up post there.
Now, it's not going to have a huge change on the car, but that will affect the way the air flows underneath that car, and it will marginally affect some of the rear downforce.
Brian, actually that piece has been there for about 15 or 20 laps. The team approached me and said, hey, can you guys shoot it for us because we know something is there. So obviously it's not affecting the performance that much because Graf still has close to a 15-second lead.
Well, it won't fall off until they slow down.
Yeah, a lot.
This isn't a really slow racetrack. It's actually a very fast racetrack. That corner we just saw is the slowest, and it's still like 60 some odd plus mile per hour. So you can imagine sticking your hand out the window at 60, and that big old piece of carbon fiber is not going anywhere for a while.
Last time across the line, David Brabham had brought the gap down to just under 15 seconds. At one point, it was up to 21 seconds. Here he comes through the downhill. Traffic really is going to create an ebb and flow to this gap as he now flashes across the stripe. And he brings it down just a few more tenths. 14.3 seconds is the margin between David Brabham and the leader of this race.
Far from settled here at Lime Rock. Just about 26 minutes to go. Weather on the way. Who be able to run on slicks if it gets damp? Who will have to change? It is far from over from here at Lime Rock Park. We said it's a bull ring. The competition's going to go all the way to the checkered flag. Indeed it is. The fans, well, the drivers, they're hot. The fans enjoying a good one here at the park, as is Alex Vicky.
Wednesday on Speed, our primetime lineup hits the gas. At 8, Stealth Rider is all new as Jason Britton takes on Philly. Then, Paints All Out rocks West Palm Beach, followed by an all-new Intersections, where man and machine are pushed to the limit. Get your heart racing Wednesday at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
There's an old saying in racing. Start with the best street cars, and you end up with the best race cars. No wonder on any given weekend, more Mazdas are road raced than any other car. Mazda. Race-driven engineering, the Zoom Zoom way.
When my doctor told me that my chronic bronchitis was COPD, I started managing it every day. I like to volunteer, hit the courts, and explore new places. I'm breathing better with Spiriva.
Spiriva is the only once-daily inhaled maintenance treatment for both forms of COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema.
I take it every day. It keeps my airways open to help me breathe better all day long.
Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor right away if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, have vision changes or eye pain, or have problems passing urine. Tell your doctor if you have glaucoma, problems passing urine, or an enlarged prostate, as these may worsen with Spiriva. Also discuss the medicines you take, even eye drops. Side effects include dry mouth, constipation, and trouble passing urine.
Now I'm managing my chronic bronchitis every day.
Ask your doctor if once daily Spiriva is right for you.
It started with 2 simple words. And now it's time to join in. Announcing the Claim Your Mazda Summer Sales Event. Enjoy the high resale value of Mazda 3, Mazda 6, the driver's alternative to Camry, or the 7-passenger Mazda CX-9. All available with 0% APR financing for 60 months, plus no monthly payments until October 2010. So why compromise? Hurry in and claim your Mazda today.
Latest practice, qualifying reports, race results, and driver standings. Get more at the ALMS section of speed.com. The most important stat right now is on the lens of some of our onboard cameras as you watch Klaus Graf work by only about 6.2 seconds between Graf and David Brabham, and I'm starting to see raindrops on some of the onboard cameras.
That is huge. 6 seconds is the lead margin now. It was 14 seconds, less than 5 minutes ago. And look at the GT battle as well. That's Pat Long now feeling the heat from the BMWs.
Here comes Brabham back in the picture. He's making up time fast because of traffic.
No blocking.
Look at the rain on the screen there.
Penalty, no blocking.
Telling Pat Long there, do not block, do not block. So he is feeling the pressure. He said the tires have gone away a little bit on him, and now it has got really slick through that section there. You can see it. This is the 2 BMWs. We're on board with Oberlin. Joey Hand right behind him.
Calvin just checked in with Tommy Sadler on the Flying Lizard 45, and Tommy's saying there is no issue with that car. It's just the traffic out here is just driving these drivers crazy, so he's trying to calm his driver down. He said Patrick is just getting really fired up out there, and we've got to get him calmed down. And guys, the rain is coming down.
Yeah, but we also heard radio communication that Pat Long said it's not the driver, it's the car. So he's feeling something different. He seems to have lost the balance and the sweet spot a little bit. So even though Tommy Sadler feels the car is perfect, Pat cannot get the hammer down like he could earlier.
Wow, slow car in front here. It's going to stack everybody up.
Brabham, I think, now beginning to make riskier moves than he has in the past. Let's take a look at just how congested it was up in the West Bend chicane.
Watch the 2 BMWs here. As the stack up occurs, they are making contact. They just bump.
Just a little rub there.
This is what it looks like. I got busted like this one time.
You know, I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him, really.
Touch him. I didn't.
No.
Kissed him. And it knocked this little piece of whatever that carbon fiber shard thing was off the back of the other BMW. Now that rain, boys, watch this. It's going to get to be really a skating rink.
Well, and there's still good grip on one end of the racetrack, and then up in the chicane there is not. And one of the things the guys were saying the other day, it is very slick in the chicanes in the rain.
Brian, all these drivers talking to their teams right now, hey, give us rain reports, give us rain reports. How hard is this stuff coming down? Because at speed, it looks like it's coming down a lot harder than it really is. And there's so much heat in the track right now that as it hits the track, it's evaporating pretty quick. So as long as we don't get some really big drops and a downpour, I think this thing could potentially still stay dry here because this cell looks pretty small.
Yeah, quick on and off there for Ollie Gavin in the Corvette coming on the front straightaway, and you are spot on there, Chris. The key is keeping tire temperatures in the car. So if they maintain a good pace, that keeps the tires hot, that eliminates the problem you have. Once you get to that kind of lap time where you're slowing down going through the corners, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It really snowballs.
It has to rain really, really hard before you lose that temperature in the tires. As long as you got half the racetrack dry and you're being aggressive, you can drive through that rain and stay dry and stay with some good grip.
Well, they asked Mika Salo earlier if Pierre Capper would have a car to go to the front. Right now, Pierre Capper closing his way back, but still a lap down to Joey Hand, but he's got the pace. Can he find a way to get back on the lead lap? Look at Hand.
Oh, Joey maybe. Oh, he gets chopped. He gets chopped. Joey is wanting to get his way through here. He feels he can take it to Pat Long. Remember the sensational battle they had at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca where Pat Long got him on a restart. He wants retribution, that being Joey Hand.
Oh boy, those two BMWs, once they catch Pat, that's going to be 2 against 1 and all bets off.
And Long had said earlier about track, well, I thought the GT Challenge guys would be a little nicer. Now remember, all the GTC cars right now are Porsches, and they just did him a favor because James Sofronis in that GTC Porsche split the BMWs.
Joey Hand got a good run there. But Bill Oberlin used that GTC car as a pick as an LMP car goes through.
Wow. He saw that coming and read it perfectly. He said, no, you're not going to get by me this time.
This is literally now a game of inches, well over 100 miles an hour. A little slide by Gunnar Jeanette through the left-hander. Your leader in the LMP Challenge category, Alex Figge, running second in that category. But right now, Gunnar Jeanette leading in LMPC, and that's going to help him in that championship because your championship leader, Scott Tucker, being shown third right now in class.
It allows the Ferrari to catch up even though it's a lap down. Don't think he's not going to try to get that lap back.
Oh, absolutely. See the 40, Ford GT.
Andrea Robertson behind the wheel right now. David, her husband, is not here this weekend. Doing a wonderful thing. He's helping some of the participants out in the Special Olympics by shuttling them backwards and forwards. Yeah, the 90 goes wide.
Got off to the outside to pass the Ford GT and got in the dirty racetrack.
Ferrari got around him. That is not from position. Remember, Kappa is a lap down.
Just another, and Robertson side by side with Hand down in turn 1 and 2.
Joey just got dirt on the tires. He's got pickup, and he can't get rid of it that quickly.
You can see those marbles accumulate around the racetrack off the racing line. When he got wide there, you get those on the tires, and suddenly you have zero grip. It's like driving on ice for a few corners.
Patrick Long right there in the 45, the silver and red Flying Lizard Porsche. Now the 61. Pierre Capper was not for position, but it moves him closer to trying to get that lap back. You see the team car there, and there's Bill Oberlin in the 92.
It also shows you that you cannot make an outside pass. You can't go around somebody and get in that dirty part of the racetrack.
Right now, Bill Oberlin, a good run in that BMW. Tell the top speed of it right there, running with the LMP Challenge car down the front straightaway. But don't miss the special Falcon Tire sponsored AmericanLeMans.com web stream of the entire Mid-Ohio ALMS race on Saturday, August 7th at 3 p.m. Wall-to-wall weekend action on the series website featuring ALMS radio commentary, timing and scoring data thanks to Falcon Tire. That's AmericanLeMans.com. You ride on board with Bill Oberlin. Klaus Graf is going to try to hold on. When we come back, we're going to take you all the way to the checkered flags. It's going to be a good one right down to the end. Bravo closing in.
Thursday, prime time on Speed is packed with 3 great original series. All new episode of Pigs All Out.
Somebody here is going to win $10,000.
From the Mega Track C-Max Trackway.
The twin stop on wheels.
Dangerous Drives.
No, this isn't Disneyland up here.
And on an all-new episode of Battle of the Supercars. It's a muscle car slugfest. 3 great original series. 1 action-packed night. Thursday night beginning at 8 Eastern on Speed.
Okay, well, we got all the loan documents taken care of for your new car. All I need now is just a copy of your insurance card.
Just a moment.
What is he doing?
Getting an online insurance quote from the General.
Need auto insurance right now? Log on to thegeneral.com for a low rate, low monthly payment, and a down payment as low as $59.
You'll also get instant proof of insurance. For the best car insurance rates online, go to the General and save some time.
Feeling buried by all the piles of paper in your home or office? Maybe it's time you traded in the old filing cabinet for a new office assistant. Meet the Neat Desk Scanner and Organizer, the only scanner that actually thinks while it scans. With Neat Desk, all your important documents can be easily scanned and then organized with the NeatWorks software. So that shoebox full of receipts instantly becomes a manageable expense report. That stack of business cards can go directly into your computer's contact list. Virtually any piece of paper automatically becomes a searchable document that you can find with a simple keyword. And here's the best part. If you call or visit us at tryneat.com right now, you can use the Neat Desk or the amazing Neat Portable Scanner for 30 days absolutely free. That's right, you'll have 1 full month to enjoy a paper-free lifestyle absolutely free. That's how confident we are that you'll love your Neat Organizer. So give us a call or go to tryneat.com for your 30-day trial and say goodbye to all that paper.
Get more and check out all the extras at speed.com, including video highlights, expert analysis, driver blogs, photo galleries, feature stories. Get more at speed.com. American Le Mans section or search keyword ALMS. Look at this. David Brabham has closed down on Klaus Graf. That was into the uphill chicane, and that is spectacular stuff. It was about 8 seconds just a few laps ago, less than a second right now, but we understand on radio communication, David Brabham may have a tire going down.
Yeah, Brian, listening to the team, David Brabham and Robin Hill talking about a sensor on that car, telling them that he might have a tire going down. So one of the sensors is telling him that he might have a tire going down. However, David Brabham is saying to the team, everything feels good right now, so it might be a sensor that is failing and the tire might be fine.
Brabham is flying 50.0. That's about half a second faster than we saw from this car earlier in the stint. He's right on the Taylor Graph. What irony, though. They had the lead late in the going last year and lost the win due to a puncture. Hopefully it won't happen again today.
They told him it's the right rear tire. Feel it out. Be careful, but careful isn't 50-second laps around here.
It is certainly not. Now GT traffic in the way. Klaus Graf getting aggressive to get by it. Brabham through as well.
Fortunately, most of the corners are right-handed, and if it's a right rear, it will affect the crossweight a little bit, but certainly he should be in better shape. That left-hander behind the pits, though, that will be a huge issue if it does go down.
That hurt Klaus Graf. Oh, in contact there with one of the GT cars.
Yeah, he hit the 48 there.
That was a good, really good piece of driving to save that in the wet grass over there.
You knew it was coming. Graf got hung up at the downhill behind the GT car. Brabham got the run. Graf moved him all the way to the grass, and there's some damage, I think, perhaps, to one of the dive planes on the front of the #1, the HPD entry.
Graf has been in this car about an hour and 45 minutes. It's a long stint. He is feeling the heat from David Brabham. He was very aggressive there, Dorsey, in closing that door.
Definitely was, and that was traffic related that stacked it up. Right to side, that right front little dive plane, one of those is loose, but it's hanging in there for right now.
And the right rear tire, more importantly for David Brabham. Holding in, oh, and understand Klaus Graf is going to get a stop-and-go penalty for that move down the front straightaway. And
they're calling it blocking again. That's a
and the right rear tire on David Brabham's car, I think, may have just shredded.
Tire's just going down. We have
it's gone. It's gone.
The sensor was correct.
This is why, think about this, he's got to slow down, he's got to hit pit lane, so is Klaus Graf, but this is going to cost the Highcroft team dearly. Can you believe this? 2 years in a row, a late race puncture.
Both cars are going to have to stop. For Graf, it's going to be a stop and go because he blocked. And for Brabham, they got to change a tire. It's a race on pit lane.
And the team is going to have to be telling Klaus Graf, look, get it back around here, but be careful.
We need a right rear tire. Just a right rear.
Get it back in here, do your penalty, and get on with it. Don't worry about it because our main competition has a problem.
No one else is close to these two cars, so looks like the victory will still come down to these two cars, but both cars hit pit lane with less than 11 minutes remaining.
Now, it is important to note, and we certainly do from the radio communication, that that #1 car had that right rear tire going down for the last several laps, was not as a factor of dropping the wheels off there on the front straightaway.
Just going by us now. We're going to give you a new right rear.
Klaus Graf to his marks. He leaves pit lane just as David Brabham pulls onto pit road.
Maintains the lead. No one else is really in the same zip code in terms of these two front runners.
Wow.
Oh, it's got the body now too, boys, unfortunately for the Highcroft team. They might get away
tear
with
that
it.
wedge off. They call it a cheese or a wedge there, that piece behind the rear wheel. They'll probably just rip that off. Hopefully the bodywork is still somewhat intact other than that piece.
Trouble getting that piece on
now.
now.
They leave it on now. I'm surprised with that.
Me too, because now they can get called back in to have it removed.
They should have just snipped that off.
Heartbreak. 2 years ago, it was David Brabham around the high side of one of the Penske cars to take the win. Last year, heartbreak, but look at this. This is the move down the front straightaway.
That's the blocking penalty that was called, and I kind of,
that was hairy. That's pretty wild, 160 miles an hour. The tire, we believe, was going down, but this is a rough road right there that David Brabham has to take to. Did that create further issues with that right rear?
Well, being that that was the right rear and it's all right-handed corners, this could have killed it. I mean, it might have been low, and when it went off the road there, it just popped it off the bead instantly.
You see it on board with David.
Ooh, that was just not good.
Let me ask you this. In the proximity of the 48 car, Klaus Graf moving to the right, did he know David Brabham was there before he made the move to the right?
If you look at his head, if you look at the language of Klaus Graf's head, it wasn't like he was looking in that right view mirror and made the move. Maybe you're just giving too much room to the 48 and then saw him.
Greg Pickett on the box. He had a little bit of reaction to that. I don't think he was particularly pleased with that, but it all worked out, didn't it, Jamie?
It certainly did. Greg Pickett having to serve that penalty could have been disastrous in the race, but now with the troubles with the Highcrofts, what's running through your mind?
Well, you can't imagine what's running through my mind. Yeah, I mean, two consummate professionals really having a heck of a race there for 15 or 20, almost for an hour actually. And Klaus got a little balk coming off down the hill, and so he swung out around the other traffic. And you're allowed one move theoretically, and he did that. That's really, really tough that the Highcroft's tire went down. That's a really tough deal. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes here. Those guys are really, really used to winning, and we're not. And it sure might be fun.
It certainly has gotten to be fun, but you guys did win at Sebring, so it's not like you've never won. Chris?
Duncan, this track gave you guys your first overall win 2 years ago, but now the second year in a row, a puncture. Looks like it's probably taken you off that top step. How deflating is that?
Well, the reason we got a puncture is because Klaus put us in the grass on the front straight. It was right side. Obviously, the car was hooked up and doing really well. David was tracking him down. We were trying to save our tires because we knew that Klaus was pushing really hard and it's really hot. So we played perfectly into our strategy and then did a Bush League move by putting us in the grass, giving us a puncture. I think it's a little unfair. Ipsa tried to give him a stop and go to try to maybe equalize it, but yeah, once you got a puncture, a stop and go is going to do anything. So not exactly the right outcome in my opinion.
Some body work loose behind that right rear tire. Why wouldn't the team just pull that loose rather than let it dangle like it is?
Well, it probably is going to come off, which it has, but less time in the pits, obviously. Yeah, again, the body work is the result of Klaus's actions, so we're not too worried about it.
2 years ago, these guys got that spectacular win against Penske, but 2 years in a row now, Hunter takes them potentially out of victory lane.
Well, good news is it took care of itself. That piece is missing. We'll take another look at it. Watch Klaus's head. I don't know that he knew that Brabs was there.
He's almost leaning to the left there, guys. I think he's just given a really wide berth to the 48 car. Then he felt the tap and moved back over and touched the 48 as well. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. Watch his head. He's not like looking down in that right side mirror.
Well, I tell you what, that could have been
disastrous.
Yeah, it could have been disastrous.
Just a terrible wreck.
Access road there, that could turn around that car at 160 miles an hour.
And I know what Duncan said, but we also have been listening to the radios, and we know that there had been a sensor issue with that right rear tire. So, yeah, I mean, coming back off the road and then back on, it certainly could have finished it off. There hadn't been a problem before. The fact of the matter is, I guess we'll never know.
No, we won't.
Klaus Graf continues to lead, though. That we do know in the LMP category and overall in LMP Challenge. It's Gunnar Jeanette. That's good for his championship run. Alex Figge running second in LMP Challenge. That's great for the PR1 team. Gunnar out in front of LMP Challenge. Scott Tucker leads LMP Challenge in the Drivers' Championship, is back in third. So Gunnar's going to be able to move forward. Understand a problem for the 48 on the racetrack, but officials saying they're going to try to finish this race under green. Just about 5 minutes left, and that's going to be good. The problem is at the downhill, so Luke Hines has climbed out of the car. Let's take a look.
Well, he was off at the top. He's got something underneath the front of the car.
He's going to have no steering here in a moment. Got a piece of
it's got
his underbody he's got underneath the front tires, and no steering. That is a heck of a ride. That is scary.
Kidding. I'll tell you what, though. You see the tire wall work again. Those tires are not up against the Armco. They're out from it, and it's nice to see how they do cushion that impact. Still big, still going to hurt. You're going to be sore the next day. But when they move, it certainly dissipates a lot of the energy.
That's a strange thing. That body piece got underneath there and actually lifted the front of the car high enough to make it lose front grip. The tires in the air don't steer or stop.
Tough call for the stewards. That's not an ideal spot. If anyone else goes off in that area, instead of hitting those tires, which did such a great job, they'd be into the 48 car. But meanwhile, on board with David Brabham, now trying to chase down Klaus Graf.
Well, I guarantee you Duncan Dayton's thinking that it's too dangerous. They need to bring out a full course caution, take about a lap to clean it up, and let's go at it again.
Trouble is, we only got 4 minutes on the board, so that may see us end up seeing a caution at the same time as that checkered. So right now, here we see Andy Lally, the 63 car. He is your GTC leader. We saw him make that move on Jerome Bleekmolen earlier in the event, and now he's just cruising.
Keep you up to date with the leaders in the 4 classes that are out there. You said it, Andy Lally leading for TRG. Had a great run going with Jerome Bleekmolen. That battle has tapered off a little bit, and Lally out in front in GT. Patrick Long, man, Jörg Bergmeister, 5 in a row here with the help of Patrick Long.
That's incredible.
That's impressive stuff indeed.
When you talk about that GTC battle with Andy Lally and Jerome Bleekmolen, the 54 car had to come to pit lane to change a tire. Both of those cars were originally on the same strategy that they were not going to change tires over the course of this race, but the 54 machine did have a flat come about in the front right of the car, so he had to come in, do a tire change, and that's how Andy Lally was able to get around him.
Well, whatever Pat Long was complaining about on the radio, and we heard that back and forth conversation, he has come to bear with it, and now the car is back up on song and looks like he's pulling away.
Yeah, but still only 2 seconds over the BMWs, and you got to hand it to Bobby Rahal and his group. Bill Auberland, Joey Hand had that great run. They really didn't beat on each other, a little rubbing here and there, but they're still having a great run. Patrick Long slips up at all. Both of those BMWs are there ready to pounce. And what a great job, not only for BMW and that team, for Dunlop, who's really come along with the tire. I think the biggest problem with that car last year was that tire, finding one that would last over a stint and be good. And right now, they certainly have found it.
Yeah, they continue to grind. They keep developing the car. New aero kit on this weekend. I really feel Joey Hand has the slightly faster car this weekend. Oh! Didn't cost him any time. That's the good news. He's still chasing down his teammate Billy Auberland, but he has the fastest race lap in GT this this day, 55.94, which is marginally quicker than Ollie Gavin, who's also flying in the Corvette. But of course, he lost that lap with the penalty to Olivier Beretta.
Cannot be too careful here at Lime Rock. There's just cars attacking you from everywhere.
Well, and even on the last lap, you cannot be too careful. We talk about no name straight. It's not straight, as you see David Brabham work around the outside of Joey Hand through the left-hander. That's no name straight. That's not straight.
That's why I say I've got a name for it. Not.
Yeah,
not straight.
29 seconds is the gap that David Brabham is trying to chase down, and that is just too much, obviously, with a couple of laps to go. Devastating blow.
Just coming up on a minute and a half left in round 5. Remember the emotional victory that this team had at Sebring in the P2 category, giving Greg Pickett the victory there. It was great to see. It was one that was welcomed up and down the pit lane. It was Klaus Graf, Greg Pickett, Sasha Maassen that day. It was impressive stuff, and it has showed just how strong that team is with that Porsche RS Spyder. 25 kilos less than the Acura HPD entry, and perhaps that weight a bit of an advantage here this weekend as well. Klaus Graf through the downhill, down the front straightaway. The white flag should wave this time by.
Well, 25 kilos certainly makes a difference as he sees that white flag. One more lap to go. But I tell you what's amazed me here today is the mileage that that HPD engine has got in the #1 machine, Dorsey. I mean, they have really stretched the fuel incredibly well. Would have been a one-stopper other than the trip to pit lane for the puncture.
Surprised all of us that added weight, or the subtracted weight, I should say, is equivalent to 55 pounds of weight, and that is significant in one of these cars.
Klaus Graf trying to bring Porsche in the RS Spyder its second overall victory here at Lime Rock. It was done back in 2007 as well. Just about a half a lap to go. Graf now through West Bend chicane, the left, then down the hill through the right-hander at the bottom of the hill, and the checker flag will await. Klaus Graf, Greg Pickett, round 5 of the American Le Mans Series in 2010, down the front straightaway. Graf with his fist in the air, and victory to the Muscle Milk team. Greg Pickett, Klaus Graf take win #2 of the season. They won the P2 category at Sebring, and they'll take the overall victory here, the LMP victory at Lime Rock Park.
Fantastic result. What a drive by Klaus Graf. He will surely wish that he didn't have that incident. Oh, this is the leader in LMPC.
Is it out of fuel, I wonder?
Remember, they had some gearbox issues earlier in the weekend.
Let's stop.
Patrick Long flashes across the line.
Around, buddy. Enjoy it.
He takes the victory. And that